Yashasvi Sanjay Berde, and today's my topic is India's wildlife. India is also a mega diverse country in a term of a wildlife. There are many species of wildlife in India. India is also a home to a large variety of animals. It is a biodiversity hotspot with its various ecosystems ranging from the Himalayas in the north to the evergreen rainforest in the south, the desert sand of the west to the marshy mangroves to the east. The richness of Indian wildlife has been celebrated since a time. Elephants are found in hot and humid forest. One-horned rhinoceros are found in a swampy and a marshy land. Wild ass and camels are found in arid land. Snow leopards and yak are found in the snow-capped region of Himalayas. Indian bisons, deers, antelopes, monkeys are found in the peninsula. River, estuaries, and the coastal areas are the home of a many turtle, crocodile, and gavials. India is the only country in the world where the both tigers and lions are found. Many species of a wildlife many species of a wildlife are one of the verge of extinction from India because of poaching, population, and rapidly occurring deforestation, and some of the natural calamities like flood, earthquake, etc. Example: cheetahs. The government of India has set up a number of national park, wildlife sanctuaries, and bird sanctuaries and biosphere reserve for the protection of wildlife and forest in India. Thank you.
So before moving forward, just Yashasvi, I want to ask you some questions. Start.
Good afternoon, one and all. Myself, Samruddhi Sanjay Tarangi, and today's my topic for the project is vegetation in India. In this map, we can see the five major types of forests, namely evergreen forest, deciduous forest, thorny and shrub type vegetations, coastal forest, Himalayan forest, evergreen forest. Areas where these forests are found, the regions receiving more than 2000 mm of rainfall and abundant sunlight. Characteristics of the trees are: point number 1, trees have broad and green leaves. Point number 2, trees have heavy, hard, and durable wood. Point number 3, creepers are also found in forests. Point number 4, highest biodiversity is found in these forests. Trees found in the evergreen forests are mahogany, rosewood, rubber, etc. You can see the evergreen forest in this picture. Deciduous forest. The region receiving rainfall between 1000 millimeter and 2000 millimeter. Uh, we can see the deciduous forests. Characteristics of trees. Trees shed down their leaves to maintain the minimum level of water. Trees found teak, bamboo, banyan, peepal, etc. In this picture, you can see the deciduous forest. Thorny and shrub type vegetations. Thorny and shrub type vegetations are found in the regions receiving rainfall less than 500 millimeter. Characteristics of the trees are: trees have small sized leaves. Trees found in the thorny and shrub type vegetations are acacia, aloe vera, etc. Coastal forests. Coastal forests are found along with the coasts, estuaries, marshy lands, and swampy lands. Characteristics of the trees: trees have light, durable, and oily wood. Trees found in the coastal forest are mangroves, sundarbans. You can see the picture. Himalayan forests. Himalayan forests are found in the regions where the Himalayan ranges are there. Characteristics of the trees: trees have needle-shaped leaves. Some flowering trees. Trees found, point number 1, seasonally flowering trees at high altitude. Point number 2, coniferous trees like pine, deodar, fir at medium altitude. Point number 3, mixed forest including both coniferous and deciduous forests at foothills. Thank you.
So let me know, Samriddhi.
Yes, teacher.
What is mean by deciduous forest?
Deciduous forest is found in the regions receiving rainfall between 1000 millimeter and 2000 millimeter.
That is, first point, what is India's vegetation? Second, what is natural vegetation? Source of natural vegetation, where it come from? Source of tropical vegetation forest, source of moist deciduous forest, and what is the difference between moist and dry deciduous forest? And more information regarding thorn and scrubs. And at last, what we came to a conclusion. What is meant by India's vegetation? Due to varied climatic condition, India has a wide range of natural vegetation. Vegetation of India can be divided into 5 types: tropical evergreen, the tropical deciduous, thorny bushes, mountain vegetation, and mangrove forest. They are the source of India's vegetation. It has a luxuriant vegetation of all kinds. Trees, shrubs, and creepers give it a multi-layered structure. What is natural vegetation? It refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans, also called as virgin vegetation. Cultivated crops and fruits, orchards from part of vegetation but not natural vegetation. They are found mostly near the equator. Region is warm and wet throughout the year. The following are the principal types of natural vegetation in India: tropical evergreen rainforest, natural vegetation, that is tropical evergreen rainforest, deciduous or monsoon types of forest, dry deciduous forests and shrubs, semi-desert and desert vegetation, and tidal or mangrove forest. Now we have saw the types. Now we should learn what is the source of tropical vegetation.
Amir,
Hello.
your present. Yes, I am there. Okay, Samir, its time limit is low. I saw your presentation, and yes, your presentation is good.
So India is in the northern hemisphere. This torrid zone, this torrid zone, uh, this torrid zone receives direct sun rays, and they are getting more heat when compared to the North Pole and the South Pole. So India is in the northern hemisphere. Half part of India lies above.
What happened?
So northern part of India is comparatively colder than the southern part. Let's move further and see when northern hemisphere is near to the sun. As you can see in the figure, the northern hemisphere of the earth is near to the sun. So the northern part of India is having more heat than compared to the southern part. So at this time there is summer in the northern hemisphere, while winter in the there is summer in the northern hemisphere, while winter in the southern hemisphere. So
Start. Home. I allow you to unmute. Just raise your hand. Okay, fine. Okay, start. Okay, start.
passes through the middle of India. So now the as you can see, the northern part of India is colder than the southern part of India. The southern part of India is hotter than the northern part of India. So next slide and next slide. Now you can see when there is summer in the northern hemisphere. Now you can see the northern hemisphere of the earth is near to the sun. So here there is summer in the northern hemisphere while there is winter in the southern hemisphere. So now the southern part of India is southern part, and the Indian Ocean is is experiencing winter, and the other part of India, that is the mainland of India, is having summer. Next slide. So now the mainland of India is having hot temperature, while the Indian Ocean is having cold temperature. So when the temperature is hot, the air is also hot. So when there is hot air, the hot air moves upward, and therefore vacuum is created. Therefore low pressure is formed. And while in the Indian Ocean there is high pressure. So next slide. So as we know that the winds and the air move from high pressure to the low pressure, the winds, the moisture-laden clouds, and the winds start moving towards the mainland of India. Same slide. Next slide. So now let us first understand what is orographic rainfall. As you can see, the cloud is coming from the Indian Ocean, from the sea. When they are coming towards the mainland, so they experience some landforms like mountains, like barriers. So when they come towards these barriers, they are full of moisture. So when they try to pass out the mountain, they move upward. And when they move upward, the moisture holding capacity, the capacity of the cloud of holding the moisture in it, the water in it, it decreases. And therefore precipitation like rainfall or snowfall is occurring, and on the windward side of the mountain. As you can see in the peak, where there is greenery, the rainfall is occurring there. But when the cloud pass out from there, the moisture holding capacity increases. Therefore, the rainfall on the other part of mountain is not happening. So you can see the one side of the mountain is green, while the other part of mountain is dry. So we have understood the orographic rainfall. Next slide. So now you can see the map of India. So here is the Western Ghats. Let us understand the Western Ghats orographic rainfall occurring in the Western Ghats. Next slide. So in the Western Ghats, we know the water cycle. What is water cycle? That is evaporation, condensation, and then rainfall. So now there is evaporation done in the Arabian Sea, and the clouds are moving further to the mainland of India. So when they are moving towards the mainland of India, there is huge barricade like Sahyadri Hills and Sahyadri Hills or Western Ghats. So when they see that there is a barricade in front of them, the wind to move, the wind try to and the clouds try to pass out through the mountains. So when they try to pass out from the mountain, their rainfall is occurring there. So you can see the Konkan part and the Sahyadri Hills are experiencing high area of high rainfall, while the Maharashtra plateau, while coming towards the Maharashtra plateau, there is decrease in the altitude and increase in the moisture holding capacity. So Maharashtra plateau receives very less rainfall. Next slide. Now when the winds are coming from the Tibetan area, that is from the China, that is from the north side. So these winds are very, very, very cold winds. So Himalayas act as a barrier for them. So on the Tibetan side, that is on the Tibetan side, the China side, there is high rainfall, while in the other side, that is Ladakh or Tibet side, there is low rainfall. So here you can see that these winds are very cold winds. So when these winds are coming towards Himalayas, the rainfall, orographic rainfall is carried out here. So what if Himalaya was not there? If Himalaya was not there, the winds coming from the southwest region, that is from the Indian Ocean, will have no barricade like Himalayas, and they will pass out through the Tibetan area. And the winds coming from the north side, that is from the China area, these are very cold winds. So if Himalaya was not there, the UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, this part of India would experience severe cold weather season during winter. So the Himalaya is very, very important for India. Himalaya help us to get high rainfall and help us to not to get severe winter. So let us move further. Ma'am, show the slide of map, India's map, India map. Back.
Okay. Just
Back, ma'am, back.
yes, just it.
hills, you can see there is a shaded part. There is a light shaded part. That is the Thar Desert. So on the border, you can see there is a border between the dark, not the Pakistan-India border. You can see that there is a dark shaded part and the light shaded part. So at that border, that line lies the Aravalli Hills. So when the winds are coming between these, you can see there is a gap between the Aravalli Hills and the Western Ghats. So when the winds try to pass out from there, so they move directly to the Himalayan areas. They directly move towards the Himalayan areas. So this part, the Rajasthan part, the light shaded part, receive very less rainfall, and therefore we are seeing that there are Thar desert and also some parts of Gujarat too. Let us move further. Next slide. Next. Yes. So now we have, ma'am, that slide only. Before.
Okay, sorry.
Not this.
Okay, this one.
Back. One slide back. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So now in this slide, you can see the southern hemisphere of the earth is near to the sun. So now there is summer in the southern hemisphere and winter in the northern hemisphere. So now the northern hemisphere, that is the southern part of India, is hotter than the northern part of India. Next slide. So now let us understand the retreating monsoon. What is retreating monsoon? So now there is winter in India. Now there is cold season in the mainland of India, while the Indian Ocean is hot. And we know that air moves from high pressure to the low pressure. Next slide. Ma'am, next slide. So now the cold winds which are on the mainland of India they try to reach the sea, that is where there is low pressure. So when they are moving there, so you can see there are some barricades like Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So at this time, during the month of January and February, Tamil Nadu receives very high rainfall. At this time, when the Mumbai is experiencing winter, the Tamil Nadu gets rainfall. Let us move further. So we have known that there are 4 seasons of India. That is hot weather season, the monsoon season, the retreating season, and the cold weather season. Now let us see some interesting facts about India. So in summer in Rajasthan, Ganganagar, it soars to 50 degrees Celsius in June. So in Mumbai, we are experiencing 28 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius in summer, and then too we are feeling very hot. So you can see that what will be the climate there at 50 degrees Celsius. Also, the Kargil town in the Kashmir is experiencing minus 48 degrees Celsius in winter. So India is having both the hotter climate too and the
India's wildlife. The Indian landmass is home to a large variety of flora and fauna. India has amazingly wide variety of wildlife animals and birds that live in the diverse terrain of the country. From ferocious Royal Bengal tigers to Asiatic elephants, India houses this huge variety of animals in its 89 national parks, 18 bioreserves, and more than 400 wildlife sanctuaries. Next slide.
Yes,
Ind-
just wait. It's
Wildlife
loading. What happened here?
Wildlife important. Yes, teacher.
No, continue.
Wildlife importance. Wildlife helps in maintaining the ecological balance of nature. Killing of carnivores leads to an increase in the number of herbivores, which in turn affect the forest vegetation. Thus, due to lack of food in the forest, they come out from the forest to agricultural land and destroy our crops. This makes us know that wildlife helps in maintaining ecological balance even by being predators of each other. Animals are great predators, which is a major reason for ecological development. Therefore, once the equilibrium and stability is disturbed, it leads to many problems. Next slide. National animals and birds. National animal of India is Bengal tiger. National heritage animal of India is Indian elephant. National aquatic animal is South Asian river dolphin. And national bird of India is Indian peacock. Next slide. India's animal. India's animal. The Bengal tiger is the second largest species of wildcat after the Siberian tiger and also the national animal of India. Elephants. Elephants are classified as mega herbivorous and the largest population of Asiatic elephant are found in South India, inhabits of grasslands, evergreen and semi-evergreen forests. Indian rhinoceros. Indian rhinoceros are also called as Great Indian Dinosaur and are native to the Indian subcontinent, primarily found in northeastern states of India. Kaziranga National Park shelters the highest density of Indian rhinos in the world. India's birds. Next slide. Indian birds. The Indian peafowl or blue peafowl is one of the most colored bird of the pheasant family and native to South Asia. The male is known as peacock, is one of the large birds found in India with a length of 40 to 46 inches. Indian peacock is the national bird of India and one of the sacred bird in Hindu mythology. The large cirrus crane is the only resident crane of Indian subcontinent, mostly found in south to the Godavari River. Next slide.
Okay, Neha, just wait. Let me know one question for you. So, when you want to protect the wildlife, what type of thing you will do when you want to protect the wildlife?
We should more and more we should preserve national parks or sanctuaries, or we should make sanctuaries for those animals who are extincting day by day.
Okay, very good. So,
This is Sneha Pal. My topic is India's tourism sector. India's tourism sector. So, what do you mean by tourism? Tourism is the travel for recreational fun, leisure rest, family, or business purpose, usually of a limited duration. We can say tourism is commonly associated with transnational travel but may also refer to travel to another location within the same country. Temporary, short-term movement of people to destination outside their resident place. So, types of tourism in India: nature tourism, heritage culture tourism, wildlife tourism, adventure tourism, pilgrimage tourism, medical tourism. Next slide. Nature tourism. India being a peninsula, one of the largest coastline. There are a lot of beautiful beaches spread along the coast and in the Indian island. India has a lot of evergreen forest filled with a high diversity of flora and fauna. Plenty of hill stations, each providing unique senses of excitement and sceneries. Next slide. India's wildlife tourism. India is a land full of unmatched wild treasures. The climatic condition and the geographical features make the country one of the top biodiverse spot on earth. Major wildlife zones of India. Example: Deccan Peninsula, Western Ghats, etc. Facts about Indian wildlife. Indian mountain, 450 wildlife sanctuaries, 89 national parks, 130 bioreserves. Next slide. Pilgrimage tourism. Pilgrimage tourism. In ancient times, travel was primarily for pilgrimage as holy places. India is the most popular in pilgrimage tourism because it is the
okay,
land
just
of
wait. Okay, good. Let's start.
Good afternoon to all. My name is Manali Shinde and today's topic is India's tourism sector. What does tourism mean? Visiting places away from our home for getting joy, entertainment, trading and staying there. In short, we can say jets. or the business of providing services such as transport, places to stay, or entertain for people on holiday. What is tourism industry in India? Tourism industry may be defined as a group of a small firm which deals in providing attractive and affordable packages to its customer, either within a state or a country or to an international level. What are the employment opportunities generated by the tourism? So, travel agency, tour operators, ticketing officers, transport officer, hotel management, airlines, and cruises. India has the potential to be the #1 tourist destination in the world. Our strengths are maintained as it is. In fact, our raising standard. Our weakness is minimized if not eliminated as much as possible, making good use of opportunities. Teacher, next slide. Initiative taken by the government to promote tourism industry. In the year 2002, the government of India announced a new tourism policy. This is built around 7S mantras of Swagat means welcome, Sochana means information, Suvidha means facility, Suraksha means security, Sahyog means cooperation, Sarochana means infrastructure, Safai means cleanliness.
Okay, Manali.
Yes.
Okay. There are some places, okay, in your screen.
Yes.
So let me know the Taj Mahal. Okay, the Taj Mahal, there are so many tourism like agro-tourism, eco-tourism, domestic tourism, and international tourism, and film tourism. So Taj Mahal is come under which tourism?
Teacher, can you repeat again?
Okay, there are so many types of tourism: domestic tourism, international tourism, film tourism, agro-tourism. So can you tell me when you are visiting and when you want to go to Taj Mahal? So which
Yes.
type of tourism is there?
Domestic
Which
tourism.
type of tourism is there? Okay.
Domestic tourism.
Yes, domestic tourism. Yes, yes, correct.
Can
Okay,
I
very
start?
good. Manali?
Thank you. Yes.
No. Because
Good afternoon to one and all. Myself, Riddhi Jari from 10th A. Today, I am going to explain the topic India's climate. India's climate is of monsoon type. The climate of India comprises a wide range of weather conditions across a vast geographical scale and varied topography, making generalizations difficult. Climate in South India is generally hotter than North India. Most parts of the nation don't experience temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius in winter, and the temperature usually tends to exceed 40 degrees Celsius during summer. India hosts 6 major climatic subtypes ranging from arid deserts in the west, alpine tundra and glaciers in the north, and humid tropical regions supporting rainforests in the southwest and the island territories. Teacher, please change the slide. Many regions have starkly different microclimates, making it one of the climatically diverse countries in the world. Change the slide, please. The country's meteorological departments follow the international standard of 4 seasons with some local adjustments. Winter, January and February, summer, March, April and May, monsoon, June to September, and a post-monsoon period, which is October to December. Thank you.
okay, very well. So according to the meteorological department, how many types of seasons are there?
4.
According to meteorological. Okay, which are they?
That is winter, summer, monsoon, and a post-monsoon period.
Yes, not post-monsoon, retreating monsoon. Okay, yes, it is called post-monsoon.
Okay.
Okay, students. So here we end up with our activity. So I hope you have gained so much knowledge over here.